Good morning, dear students. How are you today? Did you sleep well? Who is the prayer leader today? Please come in front and lead the prayer. Amen. Say present if your name is called Tuyones Abalos. Okay, please pass your assignment.
Class, I am glad that everyone is present. And before we start with our lesson for today, I would like to show you some pictures and I would ask anyone from the class what they see. Okay, so let us start. What do you see, Angelica?
The monkey and the turtle.
Great. So this is the monkey and the turtle. And this is a fable written by our very own national hero, which is Dr. Jose Rizal. And what would be the next picture that you can see?
The,
Okay, go ahead.
the goose and the golden eggs.
Okay, thank you so much. You may sit down. So these pictures that I have shown you are samples of a prose fiction. And later on we'll talk about what it means. But right now I would like to ask you why do you think there's a need for us to understand or to know prose fiction? Okay, so let me explain first. In literature, it is really needed that someone or the writer is imaginative so that they will be able to picture out what they want to say or what story they are telling. And this is important for us to learn because in literature, it is important for us to learn because everywhere there's literature. From the newspaper, even from Facebook, from YouTube, everywhere is a type of literature. But right now, we're going to focus for prose fiction.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Mom.
Our main topic for today is prose fiction. But first, let us have a recap about prose, since prose fiction is a type of prose. Anyone who can define prose?
Me.
Bernadette, yes?
It follows grammatical rule.
Yes, very good. Prose is follows grammatical rules and in paragraph form, unlike poetry that is follows rhythmical rules or patterns. Now you already know what is prose. Let's proceed to our main topic, which is prose fiction. Um, Prose fiction, again, what are your ideas?
It's imaginary.
Yes, very good. From the word prose, which is in narrative form and in paragraph form and follows grammatical rules, and fiction, which is imaginary or not real. If we combine, prose fiction follows grammatical rules and based on author's imagination. And the most common genres in literature of prose fiction are short stories and novels. Are you familiar with those?
Yes, Mom.
So those genres are in prose fiction.
Characteristics of prose fiction. The characteristics include its ability to present life-like experiences through vivid descriptions of events presented in the works. The first characteristics of prose fiction is called verisimilitude. Prose fiction has the ability to create a realistic effect, and this is called verisimilitude. A situation in a story is described in which it can make the story more realistic. This refers to the overall plausibility of a work of fiction in the context of real life, in the real world. For example, any novel that faithfully portrays the real world, regardless of time period or location, is said to have cultural verisimilitude. The next characteristic of prose fiction is called time and space. Time and space is an area of exploration that invites consideration of the many and varied ways in which texts are written and read in particular times and places, and more generally, the relationship literature has to the real world. Next is volume. It refers to the length of the work, how long and how short a certain story is. In prose fiction, it depends on the type. The short story has a shorter length than a novel. Another characteristics of prose fiction is called atmosphere. Atmosphere in prose fiction refers to the emotion or feeling that prevails in a certain work that would make readers feel the same. It is one of the characteristics of prose fiction that would connect readers to what they are reading. For example, flaming candles, the set of the skeleton dining, and so on all conjures a specific atmosphere. We're usually going for spooky around Halloween, but in literature, atmosphere refers to the feeling, emotion, or mood a writer conveys to a reader through the description of setting and objects. The last characteristics of prose fiction is called tone. It is the attitude of an author towards his work, and prose fiction, just like poetry, has also a tone that adds more emotional effects to readers. The tone creates the mood, which is how the work makes the reader feel. This concept can be at odds or be the same, depending on how the writer wants the reader to feel. For example, if someone wrote a sappy love poem with a passionate, loving tone, they most likely want the reader to feel that passion and love.
For your assignment, write in a short bond paper your favorite fictional story and explain why it is called such. Make sure to indicate its characteristics.
Class dismissed.